Vice President Vance and the White House have signaled that the contingency funds will be used to offer reprieve for those who rely on SNAP, which, as you know, is expired in a couple of days. Explain what's going to happen if people do not get access to these benefits.
Well, SNAP is a very important program. It feeds thousands of people in Oregon, people who are not able to put enough food on the table for their families, and of course millions across the country. In Oregon, a significant number, maybe half of the people benefiting from SNAP are children. And so without SNAP benefits, people will go hungry, and that's wrong, it's inexcusable, and it's unnecessary because Congress created a contingency fund to be used if the funding were to run out.
How much longer can the country withstand this shutdown?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
How much longer can the country withstand this shutdown?
Well, the shutdown isn't good for anybody, and I want it to end, my colleagues want it to end, but the Republicans aren't even here in the Capitol. So they need to get back from the table to the table. They've been gone for about a month. They need to get back to the table and figure out how we can open up the government, which we want to do, without creating so much harm to people. You know about the SNAP benefits, people are going to not receive paychecks, but also we need our agencies up and running. But we can't do that while creating steep increases in healthcare costs for people. It's just not sustainable. So they need to come back to the table and negotiate.
I want to go back to SNAP. The Senate is in town. They've been voting on the continuing resolution.
Correct.
Do you think that Senate Democrats should vote to reopen the government before SNAP benefits run out?
What the Senate does is up to them. I know that I'm here in the House waiting for my Republican colleagues to come back. This is a bicameral legislature. Of course we want the government open. Of course we do not want SNAP cuts. But we also don't want to create this situation where people are going to see these steep increases in access to health care. It's all connected. If students are hungry, they can't learn. If people don't have access to health care, their outcomes are worse. They still get sick or injured, and they end up going to the emergency room, and everyone gets hurt. And when I spoke with Oregonians about during when the Medicaid cuts were being negotiated, the term I heard over and over again from hospitals and clinics and hospital association was catastrophic. So we have a situation where we're about, without these tax premium credits continuing, people are going to see these steep increases with an already fragile healthcare system. So, of course, I want the government to open up, but I don't want to cause more harm to Oregonians and the American people. We're starting to see some Republicans agree with us. Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, and others want to see the government open, but do not want to cause these steep increases when all the other costs are rising.
I want to ask about the National Guard now. Talk
Sure.
to me about the latest that we've seen happening in Portland.
Yeah, the latest that we've seen, well, first I'll describe the scene on the ground because it's in the district I represent, both downtown Portland, which is not on fire, it is not war ravaged, and it is definitely not an insurrection. I know what an insurrection looks like because I was here on January 6th. And at the ICE site, which is almost 2 miles away from downtown, yes, there are some protests, but our local law enforcement is handling that. We have seen, unfortunately, some instigation, people trying to create a scene, I assume to justify sending in the military, but we don't need the military there. So what happened is that yesterday we found out that a fuller panel on the Ninth Circuit will hear the case because the steps were a district court judge issued a temporary restraining order saying they can't send the troops. That went to the Ninth Circuit, and then 3 Ninth Circuit judges said they didn't agree, but now there will be a fuller panel of the Ninth Circuit to hear that case. So still right now, there are no National Guard troops allowed to come in to Portland. The trial is starting today, the underlying trial on the injunction. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll be watching really closely because from what I've seen, we do not need military in our streets. I respect the National Guard. This is not what they signed up for. This is not what they should be doing.
Thank you for your time.
Of course. Thank you.